The walls of your life are never as silent as they seem. Somewhere, unseen forces are watching, tracking the energy you put into your work, your choices, even the flow of your money. Today, on the 20th of October, this hidden observation becomes more than a concept. Your bank account is under secret investigation, and what is revealed is not just numbers on a screen. It reflects the discipline, awareness, and energy you have cultivated in your life. This is not about fear. It is about understanding that external events are mirrors of inner mastery. Every small habit, every quiet act of integrity, every moment of mindfulness shapes the currents that govern your reality. Neglect in these areas shows up in unexpected ways. The universe has patterns, and today those patterns are speaking, showing truths many overlook. By the end of this video, you will see clearly how Shaolin wisdom, centuries of practice in awareness, discipline, and self-mastery directly influences your prosperity and security. You will learn why patience and humility protect more than your reputation, how mindfulness creates unseen shields around your life, and why self-mastery is the ultimate form of wealth. Hidden lessons will surface, revealing how subtle choices ripple into tangible results. This is a chance to reflect, to align, and to recognize the energy you carry into every decision. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, a space where ancient insight meets practical mastery. Subscribe now to walk this path with us and unlock the hidden forces that shape your life. Stay with me until the very end, because the truths uncovered today could quietly transform the way you live, act, and thrive. In the quiet moments before dawn, when the world still sleeps, the mind is most exposed. Every thought, every fleeting impulse whispers a direction for your life if only you are listening. Awareness is not merely noticing the obvious. It is the careful cultivation of attention, the mastery of senses so that nothing slips unnoticed. Shaolin masters spend years training this skill, understanding that the mind is the root from which all action flows. Your finances, your decisions, even the energy you radiate are shaped by what you allow yourself to perceive. A subtle distraction, a habit left unchecked, or a fleeting moment of neglect can create gaps in your life's foundation. What appears small or insignificant is often the thread that unravels the larger fabric. External investigations or sudden disruptions rarely appear out of nowhere. They mirror where attention has been lacking. True awareness is calm but alert. It is not frantic vigilance, but a steady observation of thought, emotion, and action. Each transaction, each interaction carries weight when approached with mindful presence. To master your life, you must first master the channels through which life enters you. Your senses, your mind, your focus. The Shaolin way teaches that perception is power. To see clearly is to move wisely, to avoid unseen risks before they become crises. When your awareness sharpens, the world no longer slips past you unnoticed. Opportunities and dangers alike announce themselves subtly, and only the disciplined mind can interpret these signs. Awareness transforms the ordinary into guidance. A slight hesitation before spending, a pause before reacting, a moment of reflection in silence, these are the invisible threads weaving security, strength, and clarity into your life. The mind, fully present, becomes both shield and compass, protecting your energy and directing it toward what truly matters. Discipline begins not in grand gestures, but in the quiet repetition of small, intentional acts. Each morning spent in stillness, each choice made with care, builds more than habit. It fortifies the very structure of life. Shaolin monks rise before dawn, their bodies and minds sculpted through years of rigorous training. Every strike, every stance, every controlled breath strengthens an invisible framework that supports them in ways the eye cannot see. This is the essence of invisible shields. Daily self-discipline forms a protective layer around energy, focus, and purpose. Decisions that might otherwise scatter attention are guided by clarity. The flow of resources, including finances, becomes steadier, more resilient. When discipline is neglected, even small weaknesses ripple outward, leaving gaps that external forces or unforeseen events can exploit. inner mastery grows quietly, imperceptibly, like roots deepening under the soil. Each moment of restraint, each commitment honored, adds to the unseen scaffolding of character. Life rewards consistency, and discipline is the architect of these hidden structures. It is not punishment or limitation, but an embrace of order that channels energy into meaningful directions. The ancient perspective teaches that discipline is both sword and shield. It cuts through distractions, while simultaneously protecting what matters most: wealth, relationships, personal growth. They are all safeguarded by the habits formed in ordinary moments. A day of mindful choices may seem trivial, yet its cumulative effect stretches far beyond what can be measured. By honoring structure in small ways, the mind becomes steady, the body resilient, and the spirit aligned. Invisible shields do not announce themselves, but their presence is felt in confidence, stability, and calm clarity. Discipline, practiced daily, is the quiet force that guards life's essence, shaping not only what is seen, but everything that lies beneath. In stillness, the world begins to speak in patterns that often go unnoticed. A leaf drifting in the wind, the rhythm of footsteps along a path, even the subtle rise and fall of your own breath, each carries information about the flow of life. Mindfulness is the art of noticing these threads, tracing connections that elude the distracted mind. The ancients understood this: to see clearly is to act wisely, and the smallest observation can illuminate the path ahead. Habits, thoughts, and reactions form a hidden lattice beneath daily life. Most move through their days on autopilot, blind to repetition that shapes destiny. The mind that cultivates awareness sees the loops and cycles forming in behavior, revealing patterns that can either support or undermine growth. A financial choice, a word spoken, a gesture left unchecked. Mindfulness shows where attention is scattered, where risks accumulate quietly, and where opportunity waits patiently. This practice is not rigid or forced, it is calm, patient observation. Each moment becomes a teacher, each experience a mirror, reflecting deeper truths. By observing without judgment, the mind sharpens, and hidden structures within the self and within life come into view. Awareness of these patterns allows subtle corrections before imbalance becomes disruption. The Shaolin perspective teaches that mastery begins with the inner landscape. When the mind is attuned, the body follows with precision, and the spirit aligns with intention. Mindfulness reveals not only external patterns, but the unseen currents of thought and energy guiding decisions. Financial flows, personal interactions, and life's subtle opportunities respond to the clarity generated by consistent observation. Through quiet vigilance, the ordinary transforms into guidance. The mind becomes a map, each pattern a signal, each insight a tool to navigate unseen challenges. What others miss in haste or distraction becomes clear to the one who watches deeply, cultivating the inner discipline that turns awareness into protection, foresight, and mastery. True strength is measured not in victories witnessed by others, but in the choices made in silence. Integrity is the quiet force that shapes life from the inside out. Shaolin teachings remind that every action, every word, and every intention carries weight, even when the world is unaware. What is unseen, however, is never without consequence. Hidden investigations, whether literal or metaphorical, reveal where corners have been cut, where honesty was sacrificed, and where alignment with one's principles wavered. Mastery arises from inner harmony, not applause or recognition. A life built on compromise may appear stable, yet it holds fractures invisible to the casual eye. Those fractures eventually surface, testing patience, energy, and resources. Integrity is the scaffold that prevents collapse. It is the unshakable center around which wisdom and discipline orbit. Ancient practices teach that the self is both witness and judge. Actions performed with full awareness and ethical alignment strengthen character and create an invisible order in life. Each decision made with honesty reinforces trust, not only with others, but with one's own mind and spirit. The subtle ripple of disciplined integrity extends far beyond immediate consequences, shaping opportunities, relationships, and even prosperity. When choices align with truth, the mind gains clarity, and the heart remains steady amidst uncertainty. Temptation and shortcuts may present themselves, but the practiced mind recognizes the cost hidden beneath fleeting gains. Every act of integrity, repeated and reinforced, becomes a shield, protecting energy, decisions, and life's unseen currents. To live in alignment is to walk a path where external scrutiny becomes irrelevant, for the internal compass has already charted the way. Mastery, then, is not in being noticed, but in being whole. Not in approval received, but in the quiet certainty that every step is guided by principle, anchored by truth, and sustained by discipline. Energy moves silently, following the paths we choose to notice. Every thought, every focus carries momentum, shaping the reality that unfolds. Shaolin masters teach that attention is the vessel through which life force flows. Where it rests, growth occurs. Where it wanders, gaps appear, and subtle losses begin to accumulate. Small, overlooked actions often create the largest leaks. A neglected promise, a habit ignored, a fleeting thought dismissed. All of these quietly drain vitality, influence outcomes, and shift the balance of life. Financial stability, physical health, and relationships are reflections of where energy has been directed consistently. Without conscious guidance, energy disperses like water through cracks, leaving outcomes uncertain and fragile. Intentional awareness acts as a channel. By noticing where energy flows and consciously directing it toward what matters, life begins to align with purpose. Each choice becomes a conduit for strength. Each act of focus a reinforcement of personal infrastructure. Attention is not mere observation. It is a deliberate practice of cultivating presence and aligning intention with action. Ancient wisdom emphasizes that mastery lies in this subtle stewardship. The mind, trained to discern priorities, shapes reality through persistent focus. A disciplined attention to daily rituals, however small, compounds into power over circumstances that once seemed chaotic. Energy once guided shields what is valuable, nurtures growth, and creates stability where randomness once prevailed. By embracing the principle that energy flows where attention goes, life transforms from reactive drift into conscious creation. Awareness and intention become inseparable partners, forging invisible channels that protect and expand what is essential. In this careful stewardship, the seemingly ordinary becomes profound. The mind's focus turns into strength, the heart's attention becomes clarity, and the spirit's discipline channels unseen forces into tangible results. True wisdom often hides in silence. Those who walk with humility carry a quiet strength that shields them from the unexpected. Pride, however, acts like a fog, blinding perception and distorting reality. The overconfident stumble not because the path is treacherous, but because their own ego has blinded them to what is right in front of them. Shaolin masters understood this long ago. The greatest danger is not outside but within, the subtle sway of hubris that makes even the obvious invisible. Humility does not diminish power, it channels it. By observing carefully, remaining grounded, and resisting the allure of shortcuts, the mind preserves clarity and the body maintains balance. Temptations that seem harmless often carry consequences hidden beneath their surface. A boast, a reckless decision, or a fleeting moment of arrogance can unravel carefully built stability. The disciplined mind recognizes the weight of every action, every word, and every thought, understanding that even small lapses echo far beyond their initial impact. The Shaolin path teaches that life is a mirror. The way one approaches others, oneself, and challenges reflects inner alignment. Humility allows perception to remain unobstructed, revealing risks and opportunities that pride obscures. It is through modesty and patience that patterns are noticed, mistakes are prevented, and the flow of energy remains steady. A humble approach fosters resilience, protects intentions, and strengthens judgment. It allows life's currents to be read with discernment rather than forcing outcomes through ego. The mind becomes vigilant, the heart steady, and the spirit aware of forces both seen and unseen. In this quiet alignment, Humility acts as both shield and compass, guiding each decision with care, protecting against the subtle snares that pride alone cannot see, and ensuring mastery grows steadily without the turbulence of hubris. The mind that rushes often stumbles. Impulse carries weight, but it rarely carries clarity. Shaolin teachings speak of detachment, not as cold indifference, but as the ability to observe without being consumed by emotion. When the heart reacts too quickly, perception narrows and subtle truths slip unnoticed. Like a river, life flows in currents that cannot be forced, and only the patient learn to move in harmony with them. Strategic patience is the quiet art of waiting with purpose. It does not mean passivity, it is active vigilance. Each moment of observation, each pause before response reveals hidden layers of reality. The metaphor of a secret investigation illustrates this clearly. When actions are rushed, small missteps multiply, unseen weaknesses are exposed, and the consequences often echo far beyond the initial moment. Waiting allows the mind to discern patterns, recognize risks, and choose responses aligned with both wisdom and principle. Detachment cultivates perspective. By stepping back from immediate reactions, the mind sees the larger picture. Financial decisions, relationships, and personal challenges all carry subtleties that only patience uncovers. Emotional impulses may tempt with immediacy, but detachment ensures that energy is applied where it matters most, rather than wasted on fleeting disturbances. Ancient masters knew that mastery is measured not by speed, but by precision. Discipline in observation, combined with patience, allows one to respond with clarity rather than reaction. The practice strengthens the mind's capacity to endure uncertainty, the heart's ability to remain steady, and the spirit's understanding of timing. Through detachment and strategic patience, life becomes less reactive and more intentional. Each moment observed without haste builds insight. Each action taken after careful reflection carries power. In this measured approach, mastery unfolds not in frantic pursuit, but in the quiet wisdom of knowing when to wait, when to act, and how to align each response with the currents of unseen forces. Change is rarely born in a single moment. Monks rise before dawn, repeating the same movements, the same meditations, the same rituals day after day. To an outsider, these actions may appear insignificant, even mundane. Yet over time, this repetition builds unshakable strength, clarity of mind, and harmony in body and spirit. Small actions, practiced consistently, become the foundation of mastery. Life works in much the same way. Each choice, each small decision, how money is spent, how time is valued, how attention is given, ripples outward. What seems trivial in the moment accumulates into patterns that shape the course of life. The hidden investigation serves as a mirror, showing that minor oversights or ignored responsibilities often carry consequences far greater than imagined. Tiny lapses, left unchecked, reveal themselves at pivotal moments, while disciplined attention in small matters produces results that compound silently, almost invisibly, until their impact is undeniable. The Shaolin perspective teaches that mastery is cultivated through patience, repetition, and mindfulness. Strength is built in increments, resilience forms in the quiet persistence of small acts, and wisdom grows in the steady attention to details that others neglect. Wealth, security, and personal growth are not the products of sudden breakthroughs, but the natural outcome of consistent, thoughtful practice. This principle extends beyond the physical or material. Habits of thought, daily reflections, and moments of integrity, however small, accumulate into profound internal architecture. Each moment observed, each intention honored, adds to an invisible scaffolding that supports life's larger challenges. By embracing the power of small actions, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. Seemingly minor choices compound into strength, clarity, and protection. Over time, the disciplined accumulation of small acts becomes the very fabric of mastery, silently shaping destiny in ways that are both subtle and unstoppable. Fear often arrives uninvited, a shadow lingering at the edge of awareness. It rises when hidden forces are revealed. When scrutiny uncovers what was thought secure, the natural impulse is to resist, to push away the unease. But resistance only clouds perception. The mind becomes tense, the heart constricted, and judgment falters. Shaolin philosophy teaches a different approach. Face fear without struggle. Observe it as a mirror and let clarity guide action. Acknowledging fear does not mean surrender. It is a quiet recognition of what is present, a way to name and understand the currents that tug at the mind. Observation transforms fear from a paralyzing force into a guide. Each tremor of apprehension, each tightening of the chest carries insight into where attention, preparation, or discipline may be required. In this way, fear becomes a teacher rather than a tyrant. Acting consciously rather than reacting is the mark of mastery. The disciplined mind pauses, breathes, and surveys the landscape of reality before committing to a path. Hidden investigations, sudden challenges, or unexpected revelations reveal vulnerabilities, but clarity, born of mindfulness and patience, allows response instead of panic. The energy that would fuel resistance is redirected into thoughtful action, strengthening resilience and refining discernment. Ancient masters understood that avoidance only prolongs uncertainty. True mastery is rooted in presence, not evasion. By embracing fear without surrender, the practitioner cultivates courage that is steady, informed, and unshakable. The heart remains calm, the mind alert, and the spirit aligned with principle. Through this practice, fear loses its ability to dominate. Instead, it sharpens awareness, reveals patterns, and guides the flow of energy wisely. Personal growth unfolds not in the absence of fear, but in the clarity of facing it, in the discipline of observing without resistance, and in the conscious action that transforms uncertainty into strength. Life responds to the quality of the mind more than to circumstance. External events, tests, and even hidden scrutiny often mirror the level of mastery cultivated within. When discipline is steady, when awareness is sharp, when integrity guides every choice, the currents of life begin to move in alignment, favoring those who have prepared themselves quietly and consistently. The ancients understood that mastery is magnetic. A mind trained to act with patience, a heart grounded in humility, and a spirit disciplined through repeated mindful practice radiate a force that attracts protection and opportunity. This is not luck or coincidence, it is the natural outcome of harmony between intention and action. Each moment of conscious effort compounds, creating a life where challenges are met with calm, risks are mitigated, and decisions flow from clarity rather than impulse. Hidden investigations, unexpected trials, or sudden opportunities reveal the state of inner alignment. Those who have cultivated discipline and mindfulness navigate these moments with steadiness, seeing patterns and outcomes that others miss. Integrity and patience create invisible shields, while humility allows insight and learning where arrogance would blind. The disciplined mind channels energy with precision, protecting prosperity and amplifying growth in ways that may appear subtle but are deeply effective. Self-mastery, therefore, is both a shield and a magnet. It protects against missteps, unseen threats and distractions while drawing favorable circumstances, relationships, and opportunities into life. The Shaolin perspective teaches that external forces are not random, they are reflections of inner cultivation. By tending to the mind, body, and spirit with care, the practitioner aligns with currents beyond ordinary perception, and life begins to yield results that resonate with effort, clarity, and ethical alignment. In this way, mastery is both a practice and a principle. The quiet, steady cultivation of the self ultimately shapes the reality around it, creating a life where favor follows discipline and opportunity meets readiness. Every hidden observation, every unseen scrutiny reflects what is cultivated within. Life tests the depth of your discipline, the clarity of your awareness, and the strength of your integrity. Shaolin wisdom reminds us that these qualities are not abstract ideals, they are the forces that shape your choices, your security, and the flow of your destiny. The lesson is simple, yet profound. Master yourself first. Act with conscious intention. Live in alignment with truth, humility, and patience. Small, consistent efforts, mindful decisions, disciplined habits, and quiet integrity become shields that protect you and attract opportunities that might otherwise remain hidden. Take these principles into your daily life. Observe your thoughts, refine your actions, and honor the energy you carry into every decision. Over time, you will notice patterns, protections, and pathways opening in ways that reflect your inner cultivation. May your journey be steady, your mind clear, and your spirit aligned with the forces that guide life quietly but powerfully. If you found these insights valuable, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets modern mastery. Let's walk this path together, cultivating awareness, discipline, and clarity in every moment.